Thank you, Peter. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming along and welcome. I'd like to especially welcome Don Argus, who chaired the Team Performance Review for Cricket Australia. I'd like to publicly thank Don, his fellow panellists, Malcolm Speed, Mark Taylor, Steve Waugh and Alan Border for the significant contribution they have made to this Australian Team Performance Review and the workload they've shouldered in carrying out the review's work. I also sincerely thank all the people inside and outside cricket, some 61 in all, who gave freely of their time to present their views in person to the review panel. In addition, written submissions were received from every state association, the 2 territory associations and the ACA, as well as one individual submission. Although I was not part of the review panel, I'm told by panel members that interviewees presented frankly, and the common thread amongst the interviewees was their passion for Australian cricket and its future. Cricket Australia wants cricket to be Australia's favourite sport, and our objective is to be the number one in all formats of the game. It's not a new objective, it's been our strategic objective since 2005. This independent review was given a brief to undertake a full, frank and fearless look at the Australian cricket team's recent performances and to recommend changes that should be made to the current cricket structures and systems to help us again be number one in all formats of the game. The report is being made public. Many may say this is unusual. It is not normally what is seen in corporate Australia. However, I believe it is very important that Cricket Australia is fully transparent. Once you have had time to read the report, you will see that it addresses all the issues you would expect. It pulls no punches in its assessments and is thorough in suggestions for the future. It is, to the best of my knowledge, the most exhaustive, comprehensive examination of Australian cricket ever undertaken. We didn't want quick fixes, we wanted to do this properly. Australia, as everyone knows, dominated world cricket for an extraordinarily long period of time between 1987 and 2007, an unparalleled period of dominance in world cricket and possibly unparalleled by any elite team of sport anywhere in the world. During this time, Australia won 4 ICC World Cups. For much of that 20 years was number one ranked test playing side in the world, and Australian cricket produced some of the greatest players ever to play the game. Our success during this period was the envy of the cricket world. That successful period is now history, and the Australian team's recent lack of success has been a concern for players, administrators and the cricket-loving public. People want to understand the reasons for this lack of success and to be confident about the future of Australian cricket. The Australian Cricket Board has today received the Team Performance Review report and has accepted some major key recommendations that can be implemented immediately. We will assess and report on our response to the other recommendations as soon as possible. Before talking about specifics, I want to make a couple of important points. The review is about the future and what we need to do to improve. It is clear with the wisdom of hindsight there are some issues that could have been addressed earlier. The right time for fundamental change to structures and processes is not always easy to pick, particularly with a system that has worked so well for so long. Sustained on-field success may well have masked some problems. In a sense, we were victims of our own success, and if you've won in a certain way, you are probably less likely to change your ways. However, it's quite clear, having said that, the world has moved on, and a system that once worked is now in need of change. In doing this, we have not taken a short-term approach, looking for scapegoats or applied band-aids to problems. It might be argued we should have done more to replace the great players who retired recently. Having said that, I think you'll agree, it's not easy to replace players of the calibre of Warne, McGrath, Gilchrist, Hayden and others of the era. Australian cricket has many passionate, dedicated, professional, intelligent people working in their playing, coaching, selection and administrative roles. They cannot achieve success unless the system we give them allows them to be successful. This report will, I believe, provide a blueprint for cricket structures and systems that will give us the greatest likelihood of success in all forms of the game. The report we received today and the initial decisions we have made draw on a number of principles of a wide-ranging corporate restructure to better align Australia's cricket high-performance structure and processes to allow the players to perform to their optimum and achieve success. It also aligns with our strategy. When any organisation undertakes a change of its structures and systems, It is unfortunate but inevitable that some individuals are affected. This should not in any way be seen as scapegoating. It is about redefining roles so that the roles better deliver what we need. I will not comment about the report in detail as that speaks for itself. I can confirm that Cricket Australia's board has given immediate support to three main recommendations and has asked our CEO James Sutherland and his team to begin work straight away to implement these. Firstly, we will immediately begin recruiting for a new senior management position to be known as General Manager Team Performance, reporting directly to the CEO. The person will be responsible for coaching, selection, the Centre of Excellence, and will work closely with the states and the state's talent managers. The incumbent will also be responsible for women's elite cricket with the assistance of Belinda Clark. The role will be structured to have an absolute focus on elite performance and alignment of Cricket Australia and State Cricket Association's high performance goals. It is envisaged he will spend time, or she, will spend time with the Australian team. The role will work alongside Michael Brown, who will continue his role as General Manager Operations, responsible for a wide range of operational issues such as scheduling, including the FTP, Memorandum of Understanding, security, anti-corruption, state and other competitions, and umpires. Secondly, we will also immediately start work on restructuring our national selection process to move to a 5-man selection panel with a full-time chairman of selectors to be known as the national selector. 2 independent part-time selectors, the Australian captain and the head coach. The 5 will select squads with a selector on duty, captain and head coach selecting the playing 11 both for matches within Australia and overseas. The national selector will be full-time and responsible for selection of national teams and Centre of Excellence squads, performance management including communication of selection policy and strategy, evaluation of and communication with individual players, coordination of player development plans and succession planning. The national selector will also be intimately involved with players outside the national squad who are capable of future Australian selection. Thirdly, we will move to a newly structured, expanded head coaching role. The head coach will have more authority and accountability than the current coach's role, including being a selector. As part of Australian cricket's overall coaching function, and as the person leading the overall coaching strategy for Australian cricket, he will work closely with the Centre of Excellence and state associations. The head coach will also spend most of his time with the Australian team and will also delegate some ODI and international T20 cricket tournaments and games to assistant coaches. The national selector and head coach will both report to the new General Manager Team Performance. Tim Nielsen and Andrew Hilditch are affected by these structural changes. Both have been informed of the board's decision. Tim has been invited to apply for the new head coach role if he so desires. Andrew is not available for the full-time national selection role. Both Tim and Andrew will continue in their existing roles for the interim period. The review panel has made a wide range of recommendations about better aligning Cricket Australia and state high-performance systems and about setting up an accountable, performance-based incentive system for states and individuals, including the players. The board has only received the report today. It has given its priority to the decisions I've just outlined, but will need more time to liaise with others in Australian cricket and to consider the detail of the further recommendations. These further recommendations are varied and far-reaching and encompass areas such as first-class competitions, the Centre of Excellence, Futures League, grade cricket, coaching pathways, Australia A, the 3 formats of the game, carefully assessing Big Bash private ownership, the Memorandum of Understanding with the players, improving injury player management and many other areas. In conclusion, I note the review report says there is an abundance of talent in Australian cricket, both playing talent and non-playing talent. The board agrees with the review panel's conclusion that we will improve our chances of success if we can harness that talent properly. Our undertaking to our cricket fans is to seek to do that. As I said at the start, our objective is to be number 1 in all 3 formats of the game. Thank you. Before taking your questions, could I please introduce Mr. Don Argus to make a few comments.
Thanks, Jack. Look, it's been an all-encompassing review, and I have to say I give Cricket Australia a fair bit of credit for I suppose, having the courage to give us such a wide scope to do the work. We had the 3 former captains of Australia there to provide the actual cricket input into what we'd heard, and Malcolm Speed and we provided the backup support with perhaps some of the corporate knowledge and some of the other activities that go on around the administration of cricket. So I thought our panel had a good cross-section to be able to analyse and interpret what was being said and to come up with the recommendations that are there. So as Jack has said, it's not a witch hunt. You won't find any personalities in the report. It's a genuine desire to sharpen the focus of the operational aspects of Cricket Australia. The strategy's been set. We put a structure under the strategy. Now it's up to James to make sure that it's executed.